What's up everyone, Half Chrome. We've got some of our favorite DJI drones, but we're going to tell you about our two new favorites, the Mavic 2s.
These guys might be our favorites, but we've also got some issues with them. We've got our top 10 biggest issues with these. Some of them are carryovers, been with DJI for a long time. We've got some new issues, including some small problems with the cameras, as well as some of the packaging that you can get with these guys, and problems with the drone itself. So we will be right back with the 10 least favorite things with these new Mavic 2 drones. Hey guys, a quick interruption to this video. I just wanted to let you know that Jack and I, the team here at Half Chrome, we're going to start making some videos for the Drone DJ. The Drone DJ has a new and growing YouTube channel. We're not the only ones going over there as well. If you're familiar with Billy Kyle, a bit of an expert on DJI products, he's also going to be making a ton of content for them on their new YouTube channel. If you enjoy watching us here, you're going to enjoy watching us there as well. And we're going to do even better stuff in the future. So make sure you subscribe to the Drone DJ channel. Now back to this video.
Alright, so DJI marketed this drone as having obstacle avoidance in all directions, which it does have, but not really. Okay? These side sensors really only work in a couple of modes. Tripod mode and active track, right? I want them all the time. I want them when I'm flying the drone. I want it when I'm doing a point of interest, right? When the drone is flying sideways. I want to make sure I'm not hitting something. That is a big, big limitation of this drone and the obstacle avoidance. I want what they marketed. So maybe it's an issue they didn't go with the IR camera, the IR sensors, or the stereo like we have in the front. They probably just have a really wide angle camera back here, and they're still figuring out how to process all that data. Hopefully they can fix that with a firmware update.
So a pet peeve I have is when DJI artificially limits some software type features. Case in point, on this guy, the Spark, there's no orbit, well there's a circle mode that's based on active track, and there is no point of interest based on GPS. This drone has GPS, artificial limitation, so I'm more likely to buy this guy. So what did DJI hold back on us this time? Well, it's the Hasselblad color, the 10-bit color that I get on the Pro. Why is it not on the Zoom? It's not Hasselblad branded. They have to create some more differentiation, and they basically held back software firmware on us for this guy. It's artificial. I get why they do it, but it is annoying. Now some people will complain, why didn't they combine these two cameras? Why don't I have zoom on a 1-inch sensor? Well, because, well, that's impossible. This drone is just too small. So let's talk about these gimbal guards here. These things are weird, they're goofy, they're dome shaped like the original Mavic Pro. However, there is no intent to use this optically. I don't think, at least. I don't think you're going to be popping this off and actuating the gimbal inside of there. I don't think that's their intent. People never use that on the original Pro. So why is it even a dome shape? I don't know. Is this hinge important? I doubt it. It's overly complex. It's hard to get on. It really comes from a long history of pain in the butt gimbal guards from DJI. The one pointer we do have is do not try to get them on holding the drone like this. You kind of got to let the gimbal sag on its elastic mounts in order to do it. And it's kind of like how lucky you get. Does the gimbal move around on you? Oh, look at that. But
Mine on.
We got
But
we've
been doing this off and on, off and on. It's not cool.
It's not cool. It also came delivered. It had popped off. This is going to break. That is my prediction.
At some point.
Getting it off. Also, hold the drone like this. We have some scratches here on the back of our gimbal. You probably can't make them out, probably because this thing was bouncing all over the place in shipment. So the guard not doing its job. This thing's pretty lame.
Alright, so I got my zoom camera here. I wish that I could put my Pro camera on here really easily. Yes, I can send it to DJI and have them do it. And supposedly you can do it yourself, just a couple of screws. But where am I going to buy that camera? I want to buy one drone and two cameras and have it really easy to switch back and forth. We were hoping for that. We're glad there's two cameras. We wish they were interchangeable and very easy to do. And heck, why not have a gimbal that I can throw it on in the meantime?
All right, guys, let's talk about these cameras real quick. I will start off by saying super impressed. Actually, I'd say surprised with the zoom lens quality, but that's not what I'm here to talk about right now. We're gonna have a whole nother video where we tear apart the camera quality, really the lens quality of these two cameras in detail. But I will give a little preview talking about this guy, Mavic 2 Pro. Beautiful camera, long exposure. It's great for getting a lot more light on that 1-inch sensor. While I'm talking here, we'll throw up some really cool pictures that we've gotten with it, some twilight stuff, nighttime stuff, but there is an issue. So I do recommend you use it at f2.8, wide open aperture. I'm seeing some issues going f11 as you narrow that aperture more and more. I get more and more fuzziness in the photos. Looking at the raw images here, you can see there's just something not quite as crisp about f11. Finally figured out what it was. Remember this little thing called diffraction limited spot size. You may also know it, if you're a camera nerd, as the airy disk size. That's definitely one of our top issues with this camera. Wide open, it's our favorite camera so far.
Okay, so we don't necessarily like the way that this thing folds. Sometimes the arms rub as you're putting it together to fold. Right there, you can see it's stuck, right? Why does that happen? It shouldn't. Again, of course you do have to go in the right order, but it just wasn't good planning on DJI's part.
It would be nice to see them put some intentional impact locations, some little rubber bumpers or something. Of course, they're trying to make this as small as possible, but you know, these were back legs in particular. I mean, they just come here and they hit and they hang up and they rub. So not our favorite design aspect of the Mavic 2s.
All right, so when DJI announced internal storage, I thought that was fantastic. We saw that first with the Mavic Air. 8 gigs of onboard storage was nice with my Air. I got a bigger, battered drone and I want to shoot things in 4K. 8 gigs? Come on, DJI. Storage. Give us 64. What does that cost? An extra 4 cents?
Okay, another issue. This has been around forever. Constant complaint I have with the DJI remotes and actually with the software. Why can't I have more options on how to customize these buttons? I have things I want. You have things you want. The options are always limited. They're not adding more. Every time DJI comes out with a new drone, I'm hoping they're there and they're not. What is one of them that I really want is obstacle avoidance on and off. Why do I want that? I like to fly through things, close to things, and obstacle avoidance is just hanging me up all the time. I gotta dive into settings. The other one I really want is the ability to switch between yaw rate and gimbal settings. I want it to be like when you get in a luxury car, you got a button for your seat and steering wheel positions. That's how I want it. Why? Because sometimes I want, when I'm doing video, I want to slow down the gimbal, I want to slow down yaw. But other times when you're just moving around to snap pictures, super annoying to have those slow gimbal settings. So they need to have that. You should be able to set basically a set of custom control settings and just toggle between two of those. That's what I want to see.
All right, so let's talk about the bag. Now, this is the bag that came with the Fly More kit. And it looks really nice and it is super compact. And I can get all this stuff in here. Why am I saying I don't like it? Well, you're going to find out. Putting your drone in here is like a big old game of Tetris. All right, so I can get an extra battery in the bottom, right? That fits nicely. Then I fold the flap down here, and I can get in my remote. All right, and an extra battery. Okay, the props, if I want extra props, I can sneak them in the top. All right, I need to get my charger in here. I can sneak that in there. All right, now I'm kind of running out of space. Quick tip, the front end is a little bit narrower and it'll fit in, but it's like super tight and the props are, you know, there's pressure on them. I don't want them to bend and cause problems with flight characteristics and things like that. I don't like it. So we're hoping to get a case from GoProfessionalCases.com. They make really good stuff. Looking forward to that because that's what I'm going to keep my Mavic in.
All right, last but not least, this isn't actually even about the Mavic 2. It's about DJI and their settings for how they ship you stuff. Super annoying. They leave you no flexibility in how FedEx delivers them. FedEx delivered a day late. I stayed home. I waited for the thing. It said it was going to deliver at 10:30. It did not deliver at 10:30. It transferred from a warehouse in Tennessee at 10:30. I don't live in Tennessee. So they don't even give you up-to-date information. Infuriating, okay? I had to talk to my therapist just to get through this delivery process of this drone, okay? Super annoying. If I sound angry, it's because I am. Rule 101 of delivering a product is deliver it in a way that doesn't make your customer angry. The first time I fly this thing, I'm still angry about how it got to me. Knock it off, DJI. Let me change where my package is delivered. I should be able to send it to a FedEx store where I show up with my ID. It's actually more secure. I don't know what you're thinking. Fix it or else nothing. I'm going to still buy your drones. 2 bonus items. So another thing we don't like is the dolly zoom on this guy. While it is better than the Anafi, the digital zoom you can get at 1080 is fantastic. You get a total of around 4x zoom. That all works great. But when we were at the launch event, we were told that the angle that the Mavic's going to fly backwards is dependent on the gimbal angle. So, for example, if I'm looking down at 45 degrees, it's going to do a dolly zoom like so, flying away like that. However, that is not how it works. It pretty much seems to fly straight back no matter what, which causes some problems. It doesn't give us the effects we want. So you can see here a couple dolly zooms I was doing at an elementary school, capturing some footage for them of their school, and using the automatic dolly feature was not getting what I wanted. Not only was it flying straight back, but it kind of repositions based on what you highlight as the focal point. In this case, I was highlighting the name of the school, and it's going to reposition the center of the camera to that, which wasn't actually the effect I was going for. I actually had more success just doing it manually, just very gently pulling back on the right stick while zooming in, and I was able to get actually the effect I was going for. So there's just another case doing a manual operation. Now I tried to do another one flying straight up. However, with the gimbal looking straight down, the drone flew straight back. That is not a dolly zoom, guys. It would be cool. Now, a lot of times you're not going to get much of an effect there with the dolly zoom flying up. It's only going to work if there's some things positioned next to what you're looking down on. For example, you're flying up through some trees. You might get some really cool effects like that. But moral of the story is, it doesn't work as advertised. They have some kinks to work out there. You also can't fly forward or have the option of doing both back and forward like you can on the Parrot Anafi. We do like that ability to be able to do that. A lot of the times it's not going to matter. You can just reverse the video. But if what you have in there is something that's going to look awkward in reverse, like a moving person, for example, walking, it's not going to work out so well for you. So we do think that DJI can solve these issues. We need to see some upgrades to the dolly zoom on the zoom version of this guy. So another minor issue with the camera on these guys, you might think I'm going to talk about some distortion. Some other folks seem to think that they're seeing some distortion on the Pro in certain video modes. I tested it on the test target. This thing's got a ton of straight lines, ideal for measuring that. Not seeing that. That's not my next issue that I'm going to talk about, but instead it's on the zoom. Now what we noticed in this flight here, tracking down on the train, is that it worked great. But as you zoom in, for some reason the exposure goes up. I don't know if they're automatically trying to correct for the increasing F number, which gets you a little bit less light, and they're cranking up the exposure, but they seem to be overcorrecting. So just keep an eye out for that. If you zoom in while flying, double check your exposure, make sure you're happy with it. So that's a minor thing. Again, that's something that could be fixed with a firmware update. So please take a look at that, DJI. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. We do love these drones. They are our 2 favorites, but there are definitely some issues. DJI, I hope you're listening. Please start to resolve whatever can be in terms of software and firmware at least, and take note for the next version of these guys. We will have some detailed videos coming up that really look at the camera issues I was talking about, using this test target behind me. Lots of details, more to come. Please subscribe so you don't miss that stuff.
And don't forget to check us out on halfchrome.com.
We'll see you next time.